There we go. All right, so coming down onto your back, any comfortable position. Today's focus is on being mindfulness. So we've done this before in class, but it's good to keep coming back to this practice of being mindful, being present, not allowing our thoughts to pull us away from our practice. So let's begin by noticing the breath. Notice the quality of your breath. Is it shallow or deep? Quick or slow? Where do you feel it the most in your body? And where does it catch and where does it flow? So taking inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. So today's practice, we're going to do the Ujjayi breath. So our Ujjayi breath is our ocean sounding breath, or also known as the Darth Vader breath. So we want to create that constriction in the back of the throat, almost as if we are whispering or as if we are fogging up a window or something to draw little happy faces on it. So if you need to, you can try it first with your mouth open. Imagine that as you exhale, you are fogging up a mirror. Feeling that constriction in the back of your throat. And then on your inhale, using that same constriction to breathe in. If you're comfortable doing so, closing your mouth and continue with that Ujjayi breath, that constriction in the back of the throat. Take your time with your breath, nice and slow. So our Ujjayi breath is one to help us calm down, to relax, but also helps us to concentrate. So if it's comfortable for you, keeping this Ujjayi breath throughout our entire practice today. And before we move into our practice, I invite you to set an intention on something that you would like to be mindful of during our practice, one area of the practice. Maybe it's your breath. Maybe it's our transitions from one pose to the other. Maybe it's a part of your body, or maybe it's just staying present. And a quote before we begin. When we are attentive to our actions, We are not prisoners to our habits. We do not need to do something simply because we did it yesterday. So maybe today we'll find some new things to explore. Right, so making some small movements in your fingers and toes. Making any movements that you feel will help you kind of come alive. And then in your own time, rolling over to one side, any side that's calling for you. And slowly making your way up to seated. So finding a nice comfortable seated position here. And just to mention, I didn't go through my whole spiel of do what's comfortable for you. Come on if you need to, if you don't understand. You all know. Okay. So let's bring our arms up and back behind the head. So maybe you clasp the fingers if that's comfortable for you. We're going to do kind of a seated cat-cow. So rounding your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, and maybe bring the elbows towards each other. If you wish, you can place a little weight into the back of the head to feel a little bit of a stretch here and along the back of your neck. And then whenever you're ready, coming back up to center, elbows come out to the sides. And then you're going to find a slight back bend. Heart opens up towards the sky. Send the elbows back. And moving here at your own pace, round and tuck. Elbows come in. And then moving in the opposite direction. Heart shines up towards the sky. And see if you can slow down your movement. We're going to try and move nice and slow through our practice today. Slow burn. And notice as you slow down your movement, how that movement kind of feels a little different. Maybe you are more mindful of where your body is in space. All right, so let's go one more time in each direction. And then once that is complete for you, hands come down by your sides. Let's make our way into a tabletop pose. So wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. All right, so from our tabletop pose, we're going to create kind of like circles in the torso, but not random circles. I'll explain. Okay, so we're going to allow our rib cage to pop out towards the left side, kind of like when we come into a C shape. And then we're going to bring the back up towards the sky, around the back like you would into a cat pose. You're coming through center and then over towards the right side, C shape to the right. Allow the belly button to drop down towards the earth as you make kind of like a cow pose as you swing your torso over towards the left. All right, so we're going to keep moving in circles here. And just move at your own pace, whatever feels good for you. Your circles may not look like mine. It doesn't matter. I don't even know what mine look like. So whatever feels good. All right. And then whenever you're ready, going in the opposite direction, rib cage pops out towards the right side, comes up into your cat shape, ribs to the left side, belly button to the earth. All right. So let's come back to our tabletop pose. And then we're going to come into child's pose. Big toes together. If it's comfortable, knees come apart. Extend the arms long and bring the forehead to the earth, or maybe to a block or folded blanket if need be. Returning to your Ujjayi breath if you have forgotten about it. So we're going to come up onto our fingertips here. Allow your head to come up off the earth, and then maybe make some movements here. So maybe your body kind of moves from side to side. Maybe you make some circles by walking the hands back a little bit more. Any kind of movements that feels good. All right, walking your hands back. We're not going to come all the way. So just about halfway back, still on your knees, make some movements here. Is it circle shaped? Is it C shaped? Staying on your fingertips if you can. All right. Then let's make our way back into our tabletop pose. Shifting your weight forward, tuck the elbows in by your sides, nice and slow, lowering down towards the earth. Take your time. Okay, we're gonna find a variation of a cobra pose. So this variation, we bring our hands out towards the sides. So we're creating kind of like a 90-degree angle with our arms. Elbows are pointing up on the fingertips, if that's comfortable for you. Okay, shoulders roll back and down the spine, lift the heart, tops of the feet push down towards the earth. Find your breath. If you want, you can make a little bit of movement here. Maybe you turn and look over the left shoulder. And then turn and look over the right. Come back to center and gently lower to the earth. Remember, at any point, if you need to take a break, you can. You can always bend the knees, windshield wiper the feet if you have any discomfort here in your low back. All right, so we're going to move into, if it's comfortable for you, a full cobra. If not, coming into baby cobra. See if you can come onto your fingertips for this one as well. So hands come by your chest. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Maybe you're on fingertips, pushing up, tuck the elbows in by the side. Feels different, doesn't it? All right, tops of the feet push down. Maybe you look over one shoulder and then over the other shoulder. Nice strong fingers by the time we're done today. All right, exhale to lower, nice and slow. Okay, we're gonna come into a tabletop, regular hands. Curl the toes under, send the hips up and back behind you, downward dog. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. Maybe you walk your dog, pedaling out your feet. Gripping your fingers into the earth. And then we want to turn, imagine that we're turning our fingers out towards the sides. So always get this wrong, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So you're tightening a jar with your right hand, almost as if you're tightening a jar, almost as if you're loosening a jar with your left. Okay, we're gonna walk our hands back towards our feet. Take your time. Ooh, hello, spider on my mat. It's that time of year. Oh. Okay, forward fold at the back of your mat. As much of a bend in your knees as you need. Maybe you find some movement here. If you want, you can return to that clasp behind your head, tuck the elbows in to find a little bit more of a stretch along the back of the neck. All right, placing your hands back down. If you have blocks, feel free to grab them. Sorry if they're at the top of your mat and you're at the back. All right, and then we're gonna kind of walk our hands or the blocks over towards the left side. So pinky toe side of the left foot. Bend into that right knee as you turn. Walk your hands or your blocks back to center over towards the left side. Bend into the left knee. Let's walk the hands back to center, forward fold. All right, if you have a block nearby, it's good to bring the earth up closer to you if your hands don't come to the earth, or even just for balance. We're gonna do a little shift here. I learned something from another yoga teacher recently. This is kind of interesting. Let's shift our weight forward up onto our toes. Heels come up off the earth. Find your balance. Find your breath. And the spider's back. All right, slowly lower the heels to the earth. All right, here we are. We're going to rock back onto our heels, activate your feet, draw the toes up towards the sky. Notice the stretch along the backs of your legs. All right, slowly lowering the feet. Let's walk our hands out into a plank pose. So find your variation of a plank pose. Take your time. Draw the navel in, push away from the earth. Drop the knees to the earth. Tuck the elbows in and gently lower. So perhaps we find that variation once again of our cobra pose of arms out to the sides. If you hate that variation, find a back bend that feels good for you here. So shoulders roll back and down the spine, tops of the feet push to the earth and lift. Maybe you lift a little higher this time. Again, if you wish, you can find some movement or find stillness. Up on the fingertips here. All right, gently lower down towards the earth. Your choice, reverse push-up or tabletop. Downward dog. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. All right, so from our downward dog, we're gonna come up high in the toes and then pivot on the feet so that heels turn towards the right side. Bringing the feet down to the earth. Okay, maybe you come up onto the fingertips of the left hand and look underneath the left arm. Let's come back to our full downward dog. Roll the shoulders back and down. This time turning coming up onto the toes first, that helps. And then turning your heels towards the left side, place the feet down. Maybe you come up onto the fingertips of the right, look underneath the right armpit. Maybe bending into that bottom leg, if that helps. Find a little more turn. Bottom leg being the left leg, sorry. Making your way back into your downward dog. All right, we're gonna walk our hands back once again. Go slow, take your time. Go as slow as you can. Making your way back into your forward fold. All right, let's come into a halfway lift. We'll bring our hands actually to our thighs. So nice flat back here. And then I invite you to find some cat-cow here. So around your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. And then opposite direction, send the tailbone up, shoulders roll back and down the spine. Just moving at your own pace here. My back was saying, we need something. All right, whenever you're ready with a flat back, forward fold once again. Okay, we're gonna heel toe our feet and heels together. Grab a block if you need to bring the earth up closer, or 2 blocks. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take the right foot, pick it up and cross it behind the left foot. So you're gonna try and bring pinky toe sides of your feet together. They may not line up, mine don't line up. Find a slight bend here in that back knee, the right knee. And exhale to forward fold. Yeah, sorry, there go my dogs. So nice IT band stretch here. This is a good way to be mindful of your practice and your breath by ignoring my dogs in the background. Okay, here we go. Let's uncross the feet. Come back into your forward fold. Can you slowly walk your hands out into a plank? Nice and slow, draw the navel in as you come forward. Dropping the knees to the earth, tuck the elbows, come on down. All right, find your back bend of choice. Elbows tuck in, shoulders roll back and down. All right, so coming back down and either reverse push-up or tabletop. Downward dog. We're gonna play in our downward dog for a little bit. So we're gonna bring the right foot up towards the sky. You're gonna bend the right knee and then create some circles. But here, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to choose what you prefer to do. Maybe you just make circles in the hip in your downward dog, or maybe you make giant circles. So as you bring your knee forward, you shift your weight forward into plank, knee comes forward and then come back into that bent knee, 3-legged dog. Your choice. And remember just to work where you are comfortable today. So let's find one more circle. Three-legged dog, downward dog. Give the wrists a break by slowly walking our hands back. Come onto fists if you need to, as you slowly come back. All right, so we're gonna find that twisted forward fold on the other side, the IT band stretch. So heel toe the feet together. And then left foot comes over towards the right side, behind and towards the right side. Pinky toe sides of the feet together. Exhale, lengthen the spine and forward fold. So I sent out, you may have seen it, I sent out a video on wrists. So some options there that you can use in your practice today as well. So coming onto fists, maybe moving to forearms instead of on the hands. Maybe it's forearms on blocks or hands on blocks. Whenever we come to downward dog, plank pose, any of those. And a slight bend in that back knee if you haven't already. Mindfully uncrossing the legs, feet come beside each other. There you go. We're going to make our way into a plank pose. Walk slow, take your time. All right, we're going to come back down onto the knees and lower to the earth. And find your back bend of choice. A couple rounds of breath here. And come back down to the earth and either reverse push up or tabletop, downward dog. All right, we're gonna find that circle movement on the other side. Left foot comes up towards the sky, bend the knee. Maybe you make circles in your hip here with the knee up, or maybe you make a circle while you shift your weight forward, bring the knee around and towards that left elbow, and then bring your foot back as you come into three-legged dog with a bent knee. Just continue moving here at your own pace. Find your Ujjayi breath. Let's find one more circle. Downward dog. And then walking your feet up toward your hands this time, coming towards the top of your mat. Arms come out to the side with a flat back, reverse swan dive up into extended mountain. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. And keep the arms up overhead. Let's find a back bend here, actually. So arms come to cactus arms. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. And then the the chest opens up towards the sky, bending from the upper back. All right, inhale. Let's come back to our extended mountain, shoulders roll back and down. We're going to come up onto our toes. Find your balance. Just, I'm not too sure how I'm going to do in this. I might fall today again. All right, we're slowly going to come back into a chair pose. If you can, stay on your toes. Woo-hoo. Send the hips back. Squeeze the inner thighs. That helps a lot for balance. Slight tuck of the tailbone. Try not to lean forward though on those toes. Send the hips back. The heels are just going to kind of hover off the earth. Can you push into your toes and come back up very slowly into that extended mountain? Squeeze the inner thighs for balance. Exhale, lower the arms. And maybe find some movement here in your arms. So swinging them as if they are empty coat sleeves. All right, here we go. Let's bring the arms back up, extended mountain. Again, squeeze the inner thighs, coming up onto the toes. Woo-hoo. One more time, let's see if we can sit back into that chair pose. Notice your breath, notice your body, notice your mind. If it's uncomfortable for your knees, please drop your heels to the floor. All right, heels come down to the earth. Exhale to a forward fold. Let's take a big step back with the right foot and lower the right knee to the earth. We're going to walk the left foot out towards the left side. Hands come to the inside here of that front leg. All right. So from here, we're going to bring the left arm up and back behind. Reach it back, either coming up on the back toes or bending the back knee and grabbing a hold of the back foot or ankle. Maybe the foot just comes up off the earth. Maybe you can't reach the foot. Totally okay. All right, let's drop the back foot to the earth. Hands come down to the earth. Can you come back into a three-legged dog from here? So hands are underneath the shoulders, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, and then bring that left foot up and back behind you into three-legged dog. Find your breath. All right, let's shift our weight forward into plank pose. Bring the knee in towards the nose and hold for a couple rounds of breath. Back is nice and slow into your three-legged dog. Downward dog. Tabletop. We're going to find a puppy pose, walking the hands out in front, hips stay over top of the knees. If your head can come down, bring it down. If not, maybe grab a block to come underneath the forehead, softening the chest down towards the earth, melting the heart. Take your time coming back into your tabletop pose. Right foot comes to the outside of the right hand. Okay, from here, that right hand reaches up and back behind you. Keep the right foot active. Perhaps you bend the left knee and reach for that foot. Maybe you're just curling the toes under on the earth. Maybe you don't find the foot. I'm not finding it quite as easily today. So every day is different, right? All right, exhale, release. Come back into your tabletop. And we're going to find child's pose. Whichever variation feels good for you. Connect to your Ujjayi breath. Reconnect to your intention that you made for our practice. And a quote by Thich Nhat Hanh. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. Slowly making your way back to tabletop. And then coming into a seated pose. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to bring the feet to the earth. Nope, we're not going to bring the feet to the earth. Let's bring the feet out long. Okay, finding your sits bones sitting up nice and tall. We're going to find a seated figure 4. So activating the right foot and drawing the right knee in, crossing that right ankle over the left thigh. We're going to keep the right foot active throughout this entire pose. Hands come to the earth. And then as much as you feel comfortable doing so, bringing that left foot to the earth. So the closer it comes to, the more of a stretch you have, but you want to stay up nice and tall if you can. If it's hard to get that foot to the earth, maybe walk the hands back slightly and then bring the foot to the earth. All right, foot stays active. And see if you can soften that right knee. Oh, I missed the down dog crunch on the one side. Oh, wow. All right, if you have an option, you can stay in this pose. If you want to do something a little different, you can walk that left foot out just a little bit so you can come seated and be able to lift your hands up off the earth. So no support here with the hands. You're going to bring the right elbow to the outside of the right foot, if you can. If not, just the arm is going to come out. So maybe the right elbow comes in and you find a prayer twist, or maybe that right arm comes long. Keep the right foot active, push into the foot to help you turn towards the left. If you're like, nope, can't do a twist, don't have to do the twist, or you can extend the left leg long and find a twist. Find your breath. Still sitting up nice and tall. Untwisting here, allowing the left leg to come out long. Activating the right foot, bring that leg out long, shake the legs out. All right, other side. Activating the left foot, draw the left knee in. Janice is back. It's
Battery
okay.
again. I don't know how long I'm going to last. We'll see.
Okay, no problem. So let's activate the left foot, cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Find your variation here of that figure 4 pose, what feels the best for you and your body. And this one, I also prefer to come up onto fingertips. You can try it on fists, might be kind of hard because of the angle your arms are at. If you need to, you can find blocks under your hands. So imagine softening that left knee down towards the earth. Ujjayi breath if you can. All right, we're going to find that twist if you wish. So perhaps you have to walk that right foot out so you can sit up nice and tall. Maybe the right foot comes all the way out, leg is long. So left arm to the outside, maybe the elbow to the outside of that left foot. Keep the left foot active. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale to turn. Way to do this with prayer hands too. Hard to do with prayer hands. All right, let's come back to center. Activating that left foot, slide the right foot out. Crossing your legs, give them a good shake. And then let's make our way down onto our backs. All right, we're just gonna find a bridge pose here. So feet come in nice and close, knees are bent. Feet are about hip distance apart. Pushing your feet into the earth, lift your hips, squeeze the inner thighs. And it's up to you, arms can stay by your sides. Maybe you grab a hold of the long edges of the mat and imagine pulling or ripping your mat in half, or maybe rolling the shoulders under, clasping the hands, send the hands down towards the earth as much as you can, hips come high. Keep pushing the feet into the earth. Maybe you experiment by coming up onto your toes. Gently lower the heels if they're up. Unroll your shoulders if need be, and slowly come down. Feet come wide on the mat, windshield wiper the feet or the knees from side to side. Okay, what does your body need before coming into our final resting pose, into Shavasana or whatever feels good for you? Listen to your body, find what it's asking for. So we have about a minute here. So mindfulness, being present, noticing what your body is asking for, honoring your body. So whenever this feels complete for you, find a variation on the earth that feels good for you. Shavasana. It might be something different like recline butterfly in the legs. Maybe you prefer to find an active rest. So feet are wide on the mat, knees are bent, and knees come together. Or maybe it's just body out long, whatever feels good. Can you return to your breath, Ujjayi breath, or maybe just breathing into your diaphragm? Can you slow down your breath? Be present with the sensation of your breath. Returning once again to that quality of your breath. Maybe even looking to see if there is a pause between the inhale and the exhale, and a pause between the exhale and the inhale. So our last quote. Advancing our practice implies refining our ability to see and listen to our body on a deeper and subtler levels. Cultivating this internal perception is more important than merely attaining more exotic postures. Gently bringing your awareness back. Making some small movements here. Allow those small movements to become bigger movements. Being mindful if you have a dog on your lap at the moment. Slowly rolling over to one side, any side that's calling for you. And gently making your way up to seated. Once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. Taking deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. And as you move off of your mat and into your life today, I invite you to contemplate an area of your life that maybe you would like to bring more mindfulness to, more awareness, paying attention to the small, subtle details, and maybe moving slowly into that part of your day or the next part of your day. May your day be filled with peace, love, and gratitude. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful evening.